Namaste everyone. I hope you all had a blessed Nag Panchami day and you all were able to pay your respects to the Naga Devata. Uh, there is this newly found fascination that I am seeing amongst people with regards to Nagas, especially those who are, uh, I wouldn't say spiritual seekers, but to a large extent, people who are spiritually curious. Okay, so there's been lot which has been either written about or speculated as far as Nagas are concerned, and the difference between snakes and nagas have also been made apparent by many content creators. I think the first time that this particular um, um, description where nagas being separate from snakes was in the Agora trilogy, which was written by Robert Swoboda on his guru Sri Vimalananda. So uh, yes, this kind of and this was the episode which was written, or the clear differentiation between the two were given. Then after that, there has been many discussion of regarding these mysterious beings, and a lot has been said. Uh, I am not too sure about all of this because there is absolutely no authenticity, except for what Robert Sabadaji is saying in his book. There is no other authenticity with regards to the content that's been floating around. There is, but a lot of folklore which I have seen, and we all know that the great knowledge has come from the Nagas, whether it's the Yoga Sutras which have come from Nagas, a lot of medicine, knowledge of medicine has come from Nagas, and all of that. So, my first tryst with the Naga Devata was when I went to Kuke Subramaniam. Now, Kuke Subramaniam is a place in down south, and this is a fantastic place. I really, of course, I was facing some kind of major setback in my both in my personal front as well as in my career, and that's the time when I was advised to go to this place, and we had a 2.5 day ritual. My mom accompanied me over there, and it was amazing. Not the the fact that I would come out of it and things were going to be smooth after that for me, but the whole concept and the philosophy. I was also being hosted by one of the great proponents of Naga worship down south, and his family members had also hosted us at that point of time, and they said a very beautiful thing. The two things that stuck by me over there. One was the ritual itself, and the Guruji who was performing the ritual, he mentioned a very touching thing, I must say, that what you do is you tend to encroach upon the places by preparing your own hearth and home of the real owners of this land, which were the Nagas. In the bargain, what you have done is you have somehow tend to harm the original landowners, the Naga and his wife and their children. One of the most touching, and I had tears in my eyes when there was a ritual in which we had to perform the funeral rites on the family of the Nagas. And something that he said touched me to the core. That was when the father of the house gets killed, and then what would the mother and the children do? they almost become um dishahara. They they imagine what they must be feeling at that point of time. We have tend to do that, according to the Guruji, by encroaching. When human beings made societies, made, or rather we colonized the earth, the original um, dwellers of this earth, which were the Nagas, were killed, were destroyed. And that was the whole concept, because of which he said that not a single person is without a Nagadosha. The fact that you stay here on this land, there is a rina. That was one part of it, which really touched me. The second was when I went to this person's house, and we were kind of normally chit chatting over there, and there he said to me very importantly is that snakes are an extremely sensitive animal. We all know that. I mean, they're very shy, they're very timid. They're not timid, I would say they're introverts, and they would not like you to disturb them in any manner. And but they are also very sensitive. They're very sensitive, and they understand human beings, apparently. So he was talking about this place where they were going to put up the city collector was going to put up a transformer. Okay. And that land needed to be dug up, and construction needed to be made for that particular infra. And so that was what the discussion which was going on between the tehsildar and the other laborers, and even these people, because they were close to that, they were staying close to that particular place where the transformer was going to be built. And suddenly he saw, and they were having this discussion, and there was a snake which came over there, and it stood still as if listening to the conversation. They looked at the snake, and they thought, and this was the same thought which I think went across the minds of both the people, is that that there might be a snake den over here. I mean, there might be a family of snakes who would be dwelling over here, and they have come to hear the conversation of ours, where we are talking about digging up this place and creating this or building up this infrastructure. And he has also, in a way, come to signal us that please don't harm us, because I am dwelling here with my family. The next day, this gentleman, again, because conversations go on happening, and both the people again came to this place. When the snake came out with another snake and few chotu other snakes as well, which could be representing the family of the snakes. That's when they realized that there is definitely a snake den over here. And what they did was they performed a puja over there, and then tried to find another nearby place which could hold that infra. Now, whole thing was that these particular snakes understood what these guys were doing, and that could have been threatening to their abode. The whole point, and which is very interesting, are these snakes understood the communication. Not that these guys were pets, but they understood the communication. And from then onwards, I have had tremendous respect for snakes. One was, of course, the performance of the puja. One part of it was that, and the second part of it is what these discussions that ensued after that. And after I returned from Kuke Subramaniam, This was about 2018, I think, 2018 or 19. And after that, in I have made it a habit that every Thursday I I have a small snake idol of made of brass. I do puja of that. I don't know any Nagas stotras. I don't know any any ashtakam or anything of that sort, which I'm trying to find. I think now there are some which are available. I will just look at those and find the authenticity of those. But simple thing, placing a flower, placing a belpatti, giving some milk to that idol, and thanking the idol, thanking the Nagadevata for being such great guides, for being Guru Tulya for us, the entire human race, and helping us in doing, helping us in being, spiritually being what we are today. And they have a great role to play in that. So I do that. After that, I have heard a lot of more stories, and there are some very interesting ones. And I find that while urban life and urban lifestyle has um taken us away from these traditions, but the village folk are still doing it. In the sense, I came about a very interesting folklore that I heard, and I'm going to take 2-3 minutes more before I wind up this video. Uh, in Maharashtra, they call the snakes. They don't call them sap or naga in the villages. They call them zagewala. Zagewala means the one who dwells in this place. Okay, and what they do is they give a nariyal, some sweets, some sindoor and akshata, etc., to that zagewala whenever they are entering the house. Which means, say for example, you've built a new house and you're entering that house, or you dwell in that house, and every week then they give this particular little thing at one of the corners of that veranda or that compound. They say that this is the food for the zagewala, the one who dwells in this land. Apparently, I mean, I heard a very beautiful tale by one person. Is that there was this person who used to get very scared, and he used to always find that there was this snake which was always stalking him, but he never bit him. So this guy used to, take one danda in his hand and keep on, banging it on the floor, telling the zagewala to, go away from that place and not trouble him. But the zagewala never bit him. I mean, the nature of snake is to bite, as they say. But it never bit him. So this is all, beautiful stories and folklores which have been there. And today I had a Vastu Puja which I attended. Not Vastu Puja, a new entry of an office premise. We did not perform a Vastu Puja, but we did a Ganesh Puja. And just before that, the Guruji told us to do the same thing for the zagewala. He again used the term zagewala. So I was very enthralled, or rather I was very happy to hear that name once again, which I had heard about a couple of days back by another person. So snakes are our zagewalas. That means they are the true land owners, and we have encroached upon their land, and in the bargain have tend to destroy that particular race I presume. And therefore, our relationship with those particular creatures have been soured. I have also looked at one more thing is I don't call, because generally people tend to say that whenever there is a betrayal by a friend or anything, you say he was a snake, or we tend to use snake in a derogatory term. Okay, we are used to saying that and doing that. I've consciously decided, after I visited Kuke Subramaniam, I consciously decided I'm not going to ever do that, and behave towards snakes if I ever encounter them, and even if I don't encounter them, behave towards this particular beings and the existence of these beings with respect. I think that's the least that we could do for them. So, happy Nag Panchami. Om Namah Shivaya.